Hello, everyone. It's Aaron St. Denis at FFMadScientist. That is Jeremy Shulman at FF_Rebel. And this is the Fantasy Football Universe. We are back. Another day, another rookie sneak peek. Today we've got, surprise, surprise, a wide receiver. This time it's Georgia wide receiver, Lad McConkey, a nice Irish, Scottish sounding name that I'm going to have a ton of fun with every time I say it. Excited for this one?
Surprisingly, yes. We'll see how it goes, but he was a little bit more interesting than I thought. So
this is, I think I'm 6 receivers in. Troy Franklin was the first one where I really looked and was kind of disappointed. Right. This was the first one where I looked and I'm like, yeah, this isn't a wide receiver one. I'm like, this is a complimentary guy. This is the first time where I looked and I'm like, okay, well, this is not a guy I'm taking in the first round of rookie draft. So
yeah, well, before we get into it, and we'll talk more about it, but we just talked about the fact that Troy Franklin is a guy who really his only trait is elite speed. This guy has a lot of really good traits, except he's small and slow. And so you just wonder if any of it's going to matter against these elite corners and cover guys in the NFL.
This guy feels like a Patriot, like Julian Edelman, Wes Welker.
Danny Amendola is my comp for him.
Yeah. All right. So this is the sneak peek of Lad McConkey, wide receiver from Georgia. He's from Chatsworth, Georgia, 3-star recruit out of North Murray High School. In 2021, as a freshman, he established himself as a key piece of the Bulldogs offense. Oh, I need to apparently spell check myself. Unless he was he in the Bulldogs front office, or was that supposed to say offense? Because apparently
must be offense, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, you still spell them with the C's over there in Canada.
You know what? And it annoys me in my WordPress, because I'll type it in and it'll highlight red because it says my Grammarly says that's incorrect. And then I'll correct it and it'll come blue because WordPress is saying that's incorrect, because I'm getting conflicting where one's US spelling and one's Canadian spelling. So you have it with an S?
Yeah, even over here in Europe, we do it properly. So
it's
just you.
Either way, he's in the offense, not the office. But in the office, he totaled 31 receptions for 447 yards and 5 touchdowns in 15 games. What I've learned is don't type up my prospect review after a night of partying after the Lions game. But if you'd like to see how it worked out, head over to fantasyfootballuniverse.com and check out this one. This one is written by me at 3:00 in the morning after the Lions game. So he is in the office here, the Bulldogs front office. Correct. I followed up his freshman season with another solid year in 2022. In 13 games, he caught 51 passes for 675 yards and 5 touchdowns. So some consistency there. In his junior season, his production kind of reverted a bit. Only played in 8 games, so that's mainly the reason why. Only had 29 receptions, 461 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He is, as far as the limited measurables available, 6 feet, 36th percentile, 185 pounds for 14th percentile, 22 years old, and is a junior. What did you think of Lad McConkey in the Georgia Bulldogs front office?
Man, I have so many bullet points under the pros for what I was looking at, just watching him run routes against really good competition. He had good breaks at the top of his route and was able to create separation initially. He was really good at setting up the corner, kind of running up on them and making them turn around or fall off balance multiple times. He did a really good job ad-libbing when the pocket breaks down so that the QB can get out and find him. He was very quick. Even though he kind of lacks that long speed that we like to see. He adjusts well to the ball in the air. He's got really good body control. He decelerates. His stop and go routes are amazing. He even is a good runner with the ball in space, and they gave it to him a few times. The problem is he's small and slow, like we mentioned. 6 feet tall, not enough. 185 pounds, not enough. and we're comping him to these guys, like at best, we're hoping that he's a slot that he's a slot receiver and a punt returner so that he can stay on an NFL team.
A retainer. He's a retainer. I heard you combine those.
That's what he is. He's just a retainer. He's a betweener, and I don't think I'm going to be drafting him on any of my fantasy teams.
It's funny that you say that, though, because one of my key points for strengths is that he's good in the return game, which should help him. Even if he's buried on the depth chart, he'll get into it a bit because he's available in the return game. But that's funny that you said that. He's small and slow, so he's Kyron Williams, except the receiver. Worked out for him, but
I don't know. I mean, we're talking about comps, right? I think we're hoping he's like slower Jordy Nelson or like prime, not as good Adam Thielen. Like that's like best case scenario for him.
Wow.
He's gonna
best case scenario is Julian Edelman, I think.
He's gonna need an immobile quarterback with a great offensive line that has time, that can like go through progressions and check down to him and give him, like you said, all the Edelman, all those New England Patriots targets. Hopefully, maybe he's healthy Kyle Phillips.
So what he needs is to be drafted by the Patriots, in which they don't draft a quarterback and just sit there with Mac Jones and be Wes Welker, Julian Edelman 2.0. So some of the strengths I have is a physical slot receiver and could excel in that role in the NFL. Excellent route runner, excellent ball tracker, quick burst off the line of scrimmage. As I said, his special teams ability could allow him extra opportunities to stay in the lineup, even in a crowded wide receiver room. Smart, hardworking player with excellent grit and determination. Very agile and possesses great burst on short to intermediate routes. So he's a slot receiver. He's not a big guy. The weaknesses: struggles with physical corners due to his lack of size. Pretty standard. He needs to refine his technique as he transitions from the catch to run upfield. Lacks the size to be a threat on the outside and struggles with contested catch situations. And he's very athletic, but the quick twitch is not there to gain consistency. So basically, like, this one's as obvious as I've ever seen. He is a smaller, slower possession slot receiver. Lacks size, lacks physicality, lacks burst, lacks speed. He is, I don't know how many times we can drill this home, he is a Patriots type slot receiver. I don't know if I've ever seen a more pro, like even the name screams I'm a slot receiver.
Yeah.
Ladd McConkey. If that doesn't fit in Boston, I don't know what. Can you imagine the Boston announcer saying
Laddie?
Yeah, Ladd McConkey. Like that's, I don't know how many times I can hammer that home. This guy needs to be a Patriot. I don't have that as his ideal fit because I didn't want to completely stereotype him and pigeonhole him. But
what are you thinking for ideal fit?
I've got him mid to late second round as in Jacksonville, where he could kind of be the third receiver there, or second if Calvin really moves on. I didn't really love any fit. I was trying to think of what team really has a slot receiver or could benefit from having a slot receiver.
I was thinking like Pittsburgh. I don't love it. But Freiermuth, for whatever reason, kind of fell off the map. I know they had their quarterback issues and changes there. But if you're rolling with Crosby, or even have a young guy come in, who knows what they're going to do at QB next year. But he could be kind of a safety blanket guy while Pickens goes over the top. I think Deontay is gone, right? So, it's just a mess over there right now. He needs to go to a messy situation with not a lot of options for him to get the best bang out of his buck. So maybe Denver, who's set to probably lose a few pieces. Tennessee, which is still waiting on Kyle Phillips. He can actually be a healthy Kyle Phillips. That's possible. But yeah, if he goes to one of these crowded rooms, Washington, Green Bay, he's just going to be on special teams until injury happens. So
I didn't want to beat a dead horse, but honestly, New England, like if New England goes with Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones, which I can't see why they would, but if they did,
God no,
you have an immobile quarterback. You have no real options for passing except for Demario Douglas. The run game's all right. He fits. I just didn't want to beat a dead horse. The fit here is New England, but who knows who they draft at quarterback at 2? It might not. I couldn't think of anyone else that fit with the immobile quarterback, needs a slot receiver. New England.
Maybe like a Dallas Cowboys. Because that's Gallup's not coming back most likely. So you're looking at
Dak loves to hammer the tight end instead. That's why I didn't think that one.
Yeah, it depends what McCarthy's going to do. Obviously, they need to change it up. I don't know that they should draft another kind of elite wide receiver. They have other needs, especially on that offensive line. So it might be interesting for them to try and get one a little bit later in the draft.
If the Tampa moves on from Mike Evans, I think he could fit there. Baker's not the most mobile. He's not a statue, but so.
Yeah, they can't be feeding White in the passing game as much. We love it for fantasy, but that guy's going to break down.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, that's a wrap on future Patriots receiver Ladd McConkey.
I'm gonna get me a Ladd jersey if that happens.
Oh yeah, I forget you're a Patriots fan. You poor son of a bitch nowadays. It was good. You had a good run. Now it's not so much, but. All right, well, that is a wrap for the sneak peek on Georgia wide receiver Ladd McConkey. Check back with us tomorrow for the next person in our series. I think it's Devontae Walker, right, wide receiver out of North Carolina. I can confirm it's a receiver because it's almost always a receiver. Our first running back was Travion Henderson, who went back to school, and the next running back is like Braylon Allen, like 35th guy in the list. So
yeah, it's not looking good for him.
Like I said, if you want, you check back. Well, do both. Check back on our YouTube tomorrow for the next guy. Should be Tez Walker. You can also head over to fantasyfootballuniverse.com to check out the written article. We also have some IDP guys that we write up 3 times a week. I think they drop Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do not do videos on them. So go ahead, head over there and check that out, as well as all the content. The site's about 70% up and running. There's still some spots, not a whole lot in the sit-start category right there and, the conference final. So head over and check the site out and join us again tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Have a good day.